Hey guys, Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Support for Label Free Podcast is brought to you by Impression Derma, who has experienced increased exposure to HEV light over the last year and a half. I know I have. If you don't know what HEV light is, let me educate you. HEV light is emitted from your phone, tablet, and computer that penetrates deep into the skin, which can lead to wrinkles and increased harm, leaving permanent damage. I have found a solution that protects you from those harmful lights. Let me introduce you to Impression Derma Let's Face It. This product will increase collagen, promote hydration, improve elasticity, halt premature aging, and shield against those free radicals, all by using these key ingredients: algae, buriti oil, bamboo extract, raspberry seed oil, bloom light, plus many others that are sustainably sourced and produced as well as ethically traded. Please head to impressionderma.com and use code labelfree20 for 20% off. Again, please head to impressionderma.com and use code labelfree20 for 20% off. What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kemple with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm super pumped. We've got a very cool guest. He's a fellow podcast host of Successful Millennials podcast, which I think is a really great niche that he has, and I can't wait for him to share this with you. But he also has a consulting business, and he's got 5 e-courses based off of his podcast on how to jumpstart your life in a positive direction. Please welcome Sammy Warrayat to the show. Sammy, I think I got that right. Did I?
You did, yes.
Awesome. Yes, score. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate the kind words. I'm super excited for this conversation. I know we've had a couple of back and forths. Plus, the whole title of Label Free. I think we'll get into a lot of how that's helped me kind of shed some of my beliefs about myself, and help you get over some of the mind blocks that you have. But I am a 26-year-old millennial, and my podcast, the Successful Millennials, kind of covers 5 categories. It's money, it's career/purpose, it's relationships, it's physical and mental health, and then overall happiness. I think those 5 categories cover what would make somebody have a fulfilled life that they enjoy living. And you need to have, there's certain actionable tips that you can do to make progress into achieving success in those. And that's kind of what those Jumpstart ebooks do. And then the podcast is every week I interview millennials who are either emerging experts, so you can kind of see some of the struggles and understand somebody who's working with you, as well as some people who have kind of quote unquote already made it, and something to target for and something to hopefully draw inspiration from, because podcasts have been huge for me. I know you were kind of introduced to it more recently, but I've been listening to it for years, different podcasts that helped me in my journey of growth.
I love that. And so I think that what your focus is really much needed. And you had said before we started recording, and sorry guys, everybody knows that follows me, I have some animals and my pit bull is just being a little stinker right now. But I think that it's much needed. Millennials are our future, right? And so, and we've had so much chaos with social media, and you were talking about this, and I didn't really even consider that, but you're right. There with social media, it's put a lot of people on a chaotic path, and they've lost their focus. They're, I think, and some of them probably don't live in reality. But I want you to share what you were telling me about what inspired you and motivated you to start your podcast and do what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I was working in corporate. I graduated college, moved up into the ranks, bought a house, kind of lived the quote unquote American dream. And then I was in a position where a company was doing reorgs, and, the leadership didn't really see potential, or there wasn't really room for growth because of the reorg and the acquisition. So it was just like, I was losing my passion for other things in my life. I love hiking. I love sports. I like being outdoors, working out, reading. And none of those seemed fun anymore when my day-to-day tasks, which was work, that I label myself as the person what I'm doing. So it was really hurtful to see, your passion, your identity all kind of go up, and you don't see a future, you don't see a ladder. So it's affecting my mental health. And I kind of started realizing that all these things are related. And yes, money is important. Yes, mental health is important. Physical health is important. But if you're not working in things you love doing, can you truly be happy? If you're not surrounded by people, both that you work with and that, you live with and stuff like that, can you really be happy, overall happy? And I found the answer to be no. So I turned to things that I also drew inspiration from, and that was, reading books and podcasts. And I was like, I've done a lot. I read multiple books a month, and I try to continue to expand my comfort zone. So how can I help others and learn myself through the journey? Half of the guests that I bring on, I learn from them every episode. So
Yeah.
it's not like, selfishly, I learn a lot from the episodes that I do. And even when you're teaching something, it's the best, student, as well as you learning how to teach somebody, you learn a lot from. So it's been a blast doing it. And I've really found that passion back. I've stepped out of corporate, and this was a couple years ago now. I've stepped out of corporate and kind of built this consulting business and the podcast around it. And it's just been, every day is a new journey, and it's always been fun. That's, I think, what life is supposed to be.
I love it. I feel that you're pretty enlightened for your age. Do you think that that is do you think that I've got that correctly?
I'd like to say that, but I don't know what enlightened means. It could mean like many
Well,
different
I
things,
feel like
but
you've realized what is important in life at a very young age, and you've taken actionable steps to make sure that that what you're passionate about and what truly brings you joy is at the forefront of your life.
yeah, if you, based on that, yeah, for sure, I would love to say that. And I think it's because, I come from immigrant parents who came here, didn't really know anything English wise or culture wise, and they took a huge risk to get here. And I'm
Sure.
like, I'm born here, I know the language. I have to do something better than working 40 hours and a week for 40 years to retire,
Yeah.
and really, like, not sacrifice what money would do
Yeah.
to have that golden handcuffs, and really chase your passion, because otherwise you get bored in your 50s and your 60s. And I see that with my parents and some of the older relatives. You can't live like that. I think our millennial generation, actually, that is one of the benefits of social media, is that you see the possibilities of
Yeah.
that there can be a different life. And I think back in the day, it was just newspaper of random celebrities who make it, but not the everyday person who can scale out a business or scale something online and
Sure.
live the dream that people want to really live. It just, you have to have some discipline and work towards it constantly. But it's out there, that can be done, is an important message that you should really strive for
I
towards.
love that. Real quick, we're going to take a break. Here's a word from our sponsors. What is good, everyone? Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. Autumn is in the air, the pumpkins are in the patch, and our friends at Manscaped are here to make sure your man doesn't carve his pants pumpkins when he's grooming, if you know what I mean. Make sure he's keeping things fresh this fall with the leaders in male grooming and their brand new 4th edition performance package. Ladies, do we really want to cuddle up with a dude who isn't trimmed? I know I don't. My man's keeping it tight. Get him to take the leap into fall with Manscaped. Help him join the 2 million men worldwide using Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code LabelFree20. Again, go to manscaped.com and use the code LabelFree20 for 20% off and free shipping. So let's talk about these 5 different e-courses that you have. You're right. I feel like everything that you listed are definitely pillars to a well-balanced, very stable, fulfilling life. So can you tell us like what actually got you to focus on those 5 things?
Sure. So I think money is the number one. And I know a lot of people may not like that, but if you don't have your financial security, you can't take the risks to do anything else. Like, you can't step out and start a podcast that may or may not succeed, right? You can't step out and quit your job to chase your passion, because you're going to be the starving artist, right? You had mentioned that with a guest on a previous
I'm still a
episode.
starving artist.
Yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
really
Like,
hungry.
exactly. And then you start, like, you start selling too much, you start over zealous, and you get desperate, and nobody wants to work with somebody like that. And so
Yeah.
you have to come from a position of strength, and financial security gives you a lot of strength. So, not saying you have to be like a multi-billionaire or anything like that, but you have to be financially secure to help you be able to extend your passion and work in that, actually make money, so it's not just a hobby that you do on the
Sure.
weekends.
Yeah.
The second step is physical and mental health. Like I had mentioned, I work out and go to the gym. I try to hike and stuff like that. I like being active. The serotonin, the dopamine that gets released out of that. There's way smarter people in the world that have proven how important that is.
Oh, I
But
agree.
daily, Yeah, daily exercise is huge. I mean, you're in great shape, and you just have to continue to do that because it helps your mental health, it helps your image, it helps your confidence. You talk about that a lot on your podcast, which is something that I really enjoy. And something else about, like, when I was working through that, I would call it a semi bout of depression when I wasn't really working in my passion and there wasn't that ladder. Affecting your mental health will mess up everything else because
Yeah.
you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to work out. You don't want to go to work, even. You don't want to see anybody. And that all is a very big drain. And we thankfully that kind of knowledge is being spread a lot about mental wellness and mindfulness and stuff like that, but we need to continue to educate and actually do it. That
Yeah.
10-minute meditations in the morning, when I first wake up, I just look at the trees outside and sip my coffee, no phone, nothing. I just stare at the trees and let my mind wander. It sounds really weird, but it grounds
No,
you in the
I
whole
mean,
day.
we can all meditate in different ways, and I definitely have my form of meditating, which is more of like I listen to the music in the car and I
Hmm.
just kind of zone out. That's my
Yeah.
way of meditating, trying not to let anything in the outside or anything that's going on around, that personally just affect me because I do think meditation is very powerful. And I think that
Hmm.
it's important just to kind of keep you stable and peaceful. But I think a lot of people get too caught up in like everything going on around them that they really don't see the value or understand the value of that calmness.
Yeah, I mean, we have the attention span of less than a bumblebee now. It's like 7 seconds because every time you just check your phone, you don't even it's opening the same app. You're not even checking anything new. It's just you need something to continuously stimulate the brain, but doing nothing and listening to music while driving is awesome.
Yeah, I think that we are addicted to our phones. I know I
Yes.
am. I'm
Yeah.
guilty of that, and I find myself. I'm sorry if you guys. Well, Teddy is being a little noisy. I find myself. I have to like when I'm noticing that I'm doing that too much. I
Mhm,
have to pull it back and be like, whoa, I gotta like break that
mhm.
pattern and that habit because we are addicted to our phones. We're addicted
Yep.
to that, like what you said, that immediate gratification, that satisfaction. It's just and it's not getting any better. It's just getting
Mhm.
worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and especially with what we went through with COVID, I feel like that changed things even more.
Yeah, yeah, because that was like the only form of interaction for a while there, with depending on where you're at, locked down. I mean, I'm in Georgia, so we weren't locked down that long, thankfully, but it's still like that was your only form of communication. It's the only thing, quote unquote, to do, and it just builds up the habits even more. So definitely taking control of your mental health and your state of mind is extremely important. And that's why I think it's the second most important category. And everybody has their own rankings, but to me, I mean, they're all related, and that's the important thing. But career slash purpose or your passion, I think I got affected by that, and like I was sharing earlier, in that job that really changed the way I thought of my life. I thought I was gonna work at least till 30 in corporate, maybe 40, and then eventually get financial independence and retire, live off my investments and stuff. But I was like, I gotta move that faster because it's
Yeah,
draining everything not working in what you love doing and helping
yeah.
others, whether that be helping others or not. It just doing something you love is the reason we're here. Like, everybody
Oh,
has to
right,
find
right.
what it
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
I totally
So
agree.
finding that is the one thing, and then finding a way to make money off of it is the second one, so that you're not the starving artist. Because again, you have bills to pay and you have things to do. But that's the third category. And then relationships, because if you have the other three, let's say you work a great job, you make good money, it's something you love doing, and you're in great shape, but you're not sharing it with anybody, you're all alone, you get one, bored, but two, lonely and sad sometimes. And we're social creatures, even introverts, if they still label themselves as that. uh
Yeah, who knows? We're label free here, so whatever.
exactly. So I think that was something COVID taught me, for sure, because I used to call myself a very shy introvert, but I realized it was just you have the type of conversations you want to have with people. And if it's with like-minded individuals, I could do this all day. And I don't get drained at all. So the label that you put on yourself is definitely interesting, but we all need some sort of social interaction, and that's why the relationship category is extremely important. And the focus there in terms of the success metric is the quality, right?
Yeah.
You want to know who can you count on, who's there when you really need them, who are you there for when they need you, because it's always got to be a win-win. It's got to be a mutual symbiotic relationship, not one person kind of taking advantage of the other, whether that be you or whether that be them. So um, I think you have success in those four categories. Happiness and fulfillment will kind of be there for you, right? And that's why it's the fifth category, kind of ties everything together.
Sure. Can someone, I love this. I absolutely, we are on the same page with everything that you're talking about. I completely agree. I mean, if one is off, if one of the, it's like the like the pillars in your life, right? Your
Hmm.
family, this, that, the other thing. If one of the pillars off, it's going to cause everything else to be off, right?
Yep.
You can have all this money, but then your relationships probably are really terrible. You're making bad choices. You're being a bad
Hmm.
person if you don't have all these other pillars aligned, because you have to have balance. And I
Yep.
think that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that finding that balance is really key to living that well lived life, whatever that looks
Right.
like for you, because we all have an individual idea of what that is for us, right?
Right.
How long have you had your podcast?
So I just crossed 6 months a couple weeks ago, and
Yay,
appreciate it.
congratulations.
Thank you. And it's like I said, it's been teaching me a lot every episode, whether there be interviews or me teaching. I've learned more than I feel like people who listen to it.
I have to agree. I absolutely adore my guests. I learn so much as well,
Mhm.
and it's just that back and forth conversation, that organic, authentic conversation, where that magic happens when we're having these real, talking about real things that affect everybody's
Yeah.
life, is very, I think it's important, and that's why we're doing good things. We're putting that out there in the world. That energy
Yep.
is going out there, and it is coming back in big ways.
Yep. Agreed.
Can someone take an e-course just in one at a time, or do they have to take all five?
No, you could definitely take one at a time because some people have strengths where they feel like, they're making good money and they need to get to the gym. They can't force themselves there. And, or vice versa, they can't meet anybody. And, there's definitely a course for that you could take one after another or just one at a time. It doesn't matter. And I think it's important just to make continuous progress. And so the important thing about the courses, the kind of the whole running theme of the jump e-courses are that it's all about building discipline. And you don't need to learn, like, the rest is knowledge. Like, I break it down into WORK, the
Mm,
work as the acronym, and the last one is K, knowledge, to kill it. And
right.
I think that's the least important. If you can build a discipline, know why you're doing it, write down your
Sure.
objectives, and then all you have to do then is just apply it. And with the discipline that you can build, I feel like that's all you really need in life. And talent, it's a funny quote that Tim Nutke has that maybe sound cliche, but for me, it's my favorite quote ever. It's talent. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
My
Uh-oh. You're really wanting to stick that one up, huh?
But, sorry, it's a hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So
Yeah,
it's all about discipline and effort and continuous improvement, in my opinion, and that's what those jumpstart e-courses definitely do.
I love that. And how long is it each course? Is it dependent on the person? Can they do it as they want? Or typically,
Yeah,
what's an average that it takes to do each course?
I mean, it can honestly take you like a week. It's not
Oh,
that
okay.
hard. Um, there's worksheets that come with it, so you can go at your own pace. But if somebody's ready and going, they do a couple of each chapters each day. They'll be done in a week for sure. Sometimes even earlier. I've seen.
That's awesome. And what is the cost for each course?
Sure. So it's $15 per course, but if you get all five, we can get you for 50.
Nice. So that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Where can people find this? Where can they find you, follow you, support you, sign up for the course, listen to you, all that good stuff?
Appreciate it. So, Successful Millennials podcast, wherever you're listening to this podcast, you can listen to mine as well. Every Wednesday, we have, episodes. On Instagram is where I'm most active on social media. It's Financezilla. That's Financezilla. It's a little of a confusing name, but something that makes sense to me. So I decided to run with
That's
it.
right. I run with it. It's all good.
Yeah. And there's links for the books, the e-courses. If you want consulting one-on-one calls, I do offer that as well in a limited capacity. I feel like I could teach you this as well, but at the same time, you need to learn it for yourself and be able to apply it, because a coach can walk you through them and kind of handhold you, but then eventually when the coach leaves, you revert back to your prior self that didn't really teach you anything. So I would recommend the courses first. And if you still need help, or you already know the principles and you want to jump into it, you need somebody to keep you accountable. Consulting is also offered. Like I said, links are in the Instagram bio. If you don't have Instagram, you could shoot me an email. Even it's Financezilla@gmail. We can get you worked out any way needed.
Awesome. And I will put all these links in the show notes, you guys. So please don't hesitate to reach out to Sammy if you connect with this. Someone that could use this. And I think that any way you'll slice or dice it, you could get some value from his show or from his e-course. Absolutely. And before we say goodbye, I always like to ask my guests for some last words of wisdom or advice they'd like to leave with the audience. So what would you like to share with us before we say goodbye?
I think focus on one thing first. So I know we talk about balance in the podcast as well, but focus on where you have the most problems in and fix that first. Because I feel like when you're getting started, yes, you should focus on your strengths to make them better, but getting that quick wins of fixing something that you're really struggling with, for example, whether that be the gym, like start going slowly
Yeah.
and you see that measurable progress. When you first start going to a gym, you fly up in the weights, your progress looks amazing, and that'll motivate you. That'll build that fire in you to start making progress in other areas of your life. If you're focusing on something you're already good at, you can only plateau the amount of change you can make in a short period of time. You want to build those quick wins as early as possible. So really truly look at yourself, and if you don't have the ability to be self accountable, which is hard, it's not like it's easy to look at yourself and be like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
Find people who can be honest and give you them honest truths, and just don't defend it and be like, okay, this is where I need to go, and fix that first, and then it'll snowball faster than you think.
Yeah. I like that. It's like getting that constructive criticism from, people that truly love you and that want the best for you. I think is
Yeah.
very important. I think that was great advice because I agree. And those small wins help build confidence that allows you
Hmm.
to go after bigger things and dream bigger. And, really when you are able to accomplish, get those small wins and get those big wins, anything is possible. That's what I
Yep.
believe, at least. So, and you gotta
Yeah.
change my mind because I've had a lot of wins in my life. I've had a lot of failures, but I've had a lot of wins. The failures taught me a lot, and
Yep.
anything is absolutely possible when you set your mind to it. But Sammy, thank you for being a guest today. It was an absolute joy. Thank you for sharing everything that you do. We'll make sure to put all your links in the show. You guys go follow Sammy, listen to his show, get those pearls of wisdom for him, and sign up for his e-courses. This is your host, Deanna Kemple of Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.